They'll be calling you a radical. So it's that infamous day. 311 turns 13. The nuclear energy frogs have been boiled nicely. So this is the first time I've seen it, besides myself and other spin doctors. And I want people that this is the first time I've seen it. AP is using the word nuclear meltdowns for the first time. Day 4,700 and what? We 50? 13 years. The nuclear energy human frogs have been boiled nicely. You can only be hypnotized if you want to be hypnotized. Operation Foxconn knows. Okay. Nuclear fallout doesn't hurt a thing. 3 full blown out nuclear meltdowns. It's good. It never hurt no one. Never killed. Okay. All right. Yeah, then why are we so afraid of them until they happen? Why do we use radiation to target therapy cancer cells and they just annihilate them? Oh, you don't think nuclear fallout kills things and you're going to go along with the whole great coincidence? Typo's dead at your feet. The great coincidence era. The great Pacific genocide, as Kevin Blanch hypothesized, standing right here. All those years ago, standing right here. 13 of them. Kevin Blanch. They're going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you right now. Standing right here. Got that cool Montana hat on. Just remember when you look back 10, 12, 13 years from now, just remember when they told you Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't, and they full well knew he did, just lies. Just remember when they told you George W. Bush won Florida in 2000, won the 2000. Just remember that. Just remember when they told you Pat Tillman fought up 9 million gazillion Al-Qaeda in valor and fucking glory when his men shot him. Just remember when you look back thereof 13 years and they told you it was nothing but a hydrogen blast. Arnie Gundershit was in my sight every single day. This is nothing but a hydrogen blast, not a meltdown, not a meltdown. I finally kicked him off. They parade out freaking Helen. She says Japanese are tidy people. They cleaned it up. Chris Busby, who attacked me in the freaking bone marrow transplant center viciously, wrote a song about me. Freaking the Pacific Ocean's, it's a big place. They parade out one half nuclear after another. And I want people to understand, I'm not a sit in my house or basement or garage or wherever and spin doctor. The analysis. I'm not that. More power to those people. Send me money, I don't, thank you anybody that's historic this thing, but I don't beg for money. If I don't get any, I really don't get whatever. I'll get by. If somebody wants to donate to this cause, go ahead. If they don't. It's just because I'm the foot washer. I'm the free library. I'm the activist. I'm the scientist. I actually do the work. I show up. I show up to hearing. Everybody in the NRC knows me personally. I show up in my local, at the state level, at the county level. My local PTA. Oh yeah. I was a room mother for my grandsons. On the ocean, doing the ocean, work at the Senate for shutdown hearings, at the Peace Vigil in D.C., in New York City in the media space, confronting Allison McCarthy. The only person on earth that confronted the NRC about Fukushima face-to-face told, is Kevin Blanch. The only person that ever asked any politician, including Trump, including freaking Bernie Sanders. I tried to get to Biden. I tried to get to Obama. I couldn't. I asked Mike Lee right to his face. Showed up. I asked Mitt Romney right to my 2 senators. I asked the senators in California to their face. I talked to Kamala Harris face to face, toe to toe when she was the AG in California. I went to Feinstein's office. They avoid me, but I do the work. My typo work. While I'm in critical condition, fighting cancer, just the fact that I get leukemia and going to the bone marrow transplant center you have no clue, on 11/11/11. At the Enola Gay hangar, when Sudoku's freaking great niece from Hiroshima, pop, oh, hoppy, dropped, he never stopped. You think about these monsters. Fucking Oppenheimer. Herbert, the first time in humankind, Herbert Hoover. Never in the history of mankind as a military, as an army, as a nation, as a machine, indiscretionally mass murdered women and children till now. Herbert Hoover, August 7th, 1945. They never stopped. This indiscretionally mass murder Even as horrible as what's going on in Russia and Ukraine that the United States is funding, they don't just indiscretionally mass murder women and children. The United States does. Now, let's see. Pop, pop, oh, I'll be dropped. We've still not seen the original footage there. I don't think people realize that Yalta by the Sea, the United States runs the nuclear industry in Japan. The United States calls all the shots. Barry Antoinette Obama, the only true thing he ever said was these treaties were signed long before I became president. The United States runs the nuclear industry, the freaking cover up of Fukushima. Inside the Situation Room, I'm the guy that got all that. I'm the guy that put that girl up with the interview of John Holden. I was the second interview. I briefed her on all the questions, and he let the rabbit out of the bag. I'm the guy that freaking told you all this truth, but you choose not to believe it because you're paralyzed with political dogma. My view count really doesn't matter because I look back on it. Alex Jones was all over it. You know, he was there to fearmonger and freaking profit off your back. Buy you a water filter, buy you a bunker, so was Rents, all those guys. Well, I'm walking the coast of California proving the dead tide pools. They're using my videos, tagging, marked up 2,000% patriot freaking survivalist gear on their sites and made hundreds of millions and never sent me a penny. Because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Few activists, if I haven't proved that one person can change the world, you're not paying attention. On a lot of different fronts. Everybody knows me as far as politicians here in Utah, California. At my local, you know, I get the new elementary school named out there. That was me who did that. I mean, I'm active. You know, the world's run by those who show up. And so I show up. But you go back, pop, pop, oh, I'll be dropped. Who did that? Who does that? Hoover said it changed the rules of engagement forever. No other country's ever done. They don't do that. The United States does. Pop, pop, oh, I'll be dropped. Let's go into North Korea. Don't cross that parallel and turn it into hell. They did that there. Let's go off to Vietnam and kill the Viet Cong. Kissinger did that. Look what Kissinger did in Laos. Look what Kissinger did in Cambodia. Who did that? Kissinger. Wasn't he the Secretary of State in the United States? Pop, pop, oh, I'll be dropped. Kissinger. They both did it. True man, and they're useful idiots. They're puppets. Well, politicians. What about Vietnam? Because the Viet Cong went after Afghanistan. What about who did Afghanistan? Who did Iraq? They were Saudis, so we go attack them. Wolfowitz? What? Yeah, Wolfowitz. Bremer, Christian Dior's son. Yeah. Dick Cheney, who worked for who? Got to talk to Henry before we go to Fukushima. Remember that? So I go to the store this morning, and I tell the girl at the checkout, I'm like, you hear what song's playing? They should play this song all day today. She says, oh, radioactive. Radioactive says, you know, it's Fukushima Day. 3/11. Oh, it is. Radioactive. They should play that song all day, every day, but they're very so selfish and so cocooned, they don't think it affects them. Well, what about the tide pools? Wiped out, coincidence 24. What about the salmon collapse, the epic acute salmon collapse in an acute way? Coincidence. What about the well collapse? Coincidence. What about the freaking crab collapse? Coincidence. What about the dead muirbirds washing up all dead? Coincidence. What about the plutonium fires, the heat bubble? Coincidence. In science, we don't do coincidence. And these academia professors have showed what a fraud they are. Copy paste. Look at me. I got a PhD. Fucking, let me get a back rub at fucking, you know, Gina McCarthy crashes Radnet. Freaking Barack Obama stands on the White House lawn and says on March 17, 2011, I want to let the American public know what I know. Keep them in the know on Fukushima. The plume is coming to us right now. Scientists tell us it is safe. No reason to take precautions. When the same day those emails, and I'm the guy that leaked all those out, were coming out, that Cheryl, his staffer, his aide, who's never, I've tried to talk to her, was sending out emails, including to Hillary and to Muhammad, to all the staffers. The radioactive plume from Fukushima is coming over us right now. It's radioactive. Don't go outside. And if you have been outside, wash your clothes and take a shower. Barack Obama full well knew he was lying. And then every politician just, Mike Lee, I'll get right back to you. I just found out my dad's a downwind. Did he get back to me? You know, no. I asked Lisa Linger, you know, to her face, you know, what about Fukushima? I'll get back, took my phone number down. Don't take. Everybody's going to go along because who? The three branches of government told them to. CIA, NSA, CFR. The three branches of government are KGB. Ask Snowden, MI6. CIA, they're in bed running the show. Who killed Karen Silver? The CIA. You know, Kevin, they try to make a sequel out of me. And then critical edition, when your own government can legally hire teams of trolls to physically attack you, you know, slander. There were dozens of YouTube sites and Facebook pages in mine. Now, you Johnny come latelys, you weren't there. You don't know what I was up against in those days. It was brutal. It was hardcore. I had 3 radio shows, millions of eyes on me. All over the world. I used to get stuff in the mail every day from all over the world. Phone calls from all over the world. I mean, to the point I would get thousands of emails a day. I mean, I'm being in the bone marrow transplant, and one of the nurses would try to help me with my emails. Yeah, I was so, I mean, I'm dying. And so, what a compelling story, you know. Kevin Blanch could be the next Rachel Carson. You know, I says, I'm not martyring myself for no one. You know, radioactive, 13 years. And you think there's no effects. The absolute, the nuclear energy emperors have no clothes. The Fukushima emperors have no clothes. You know, to think that you can hypnotize this American populace to ignore the greatest event in human history, the greatest crime in human, and they all go along because they're politically paralyzed. They're paralyzed by Operation Foxconn News and MSNBC, political dogma, and these psycho politicians. And that's our 2 choices. Fukushima cover up Trump, Fukushima cover up Biden. That's our 2 choices. 2 of the greatest criminals who ever walked. Obama never mentioned Fukushima, and he's promised, he says, I will keep you in the know what I know. That guy was Obama dumber. Oh boy. You're playing checkers or chess, I'm the first one. This ain't playing either one. He's playing nuclear monopoly. You know, go have a cigarette. He, right before he left office on Jimmy Kimmel, did you ever get calls at 4 o'clock in the morning like Hillary's ads? I'm Jimmy Kimmel. He says, of course I did. I'm President of the United States. Well, you got any examples? Yeah, like when Fukushima happened. What's Fukushima, Jimmy Kimmel? We go from Johnny Carson and these brilliant talk show guys. Where's Lenny Bruce? Where's George Carlin when you need him? To Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, you know, the typhoon. Barack Obama called the great monster 9-point earthquake that shifted the earth off its axis. The tsunami alone killed 200,000-300,000 people. These cores were gone and melted down immediately. I used to do the due diligence right here at Weaver State. I was the environmental economist here. I taught the #1 school business. I was being prepped to take over Dr. Cooley's program, but the Chinese oligarch come in and take it over. Warren Buffett took this school over, the public school that was #1 in the country. Now they're last, under investigation by the FBI. They forced me out. They stripped my degrees. They did all kinds of nasty shit to me. Stand up to the nuclear energy. Clyde Cooley. Kevin, you keep standing up to the nuclear. You know, this is the school that built the nuclear industry. This is Utah Construction. Gee, I know that. You keep standing up to them, they're going to go after you like a wolf. Yeah, they already have. You know, well, they'll probably kill you. Then he dies right after that. Out of nowhere, right as we got the NBA. Little polonium to the tea. I used to ask Lee, what'd you put in his tea? They're getting us all anyway. You know, and you're going to go along with Trump. Trump covered up Fukushima harder than probably anyone. Met with that B 17 times. He was the chance, and he refused. Oh, Biden? He was vice president when Fukushima happened. He got briefed. He's covered it up freaking just as hard as Trump. The 2 debtor presidents who ran the freaking economy completely into the ditch, hyperinflation in this country, covered up Fukushima. For Obama, you couldn't take any precautions because people didn't know. I got leukemia in 2011. The plume hammered us. Still hammered. They took down RadNet. What's RadNet? The radiation technical. You think that's a coincidence? They just crashed it and took it offline that day? I know what happened in the situation room word for word. I've freaking presented it over and over and over and over. It's the greatest cover-up in human. Make it so. USS Reagan. Remember that? All that work I did there. I'm not a spin doctor. This sits around and asks for money. Whatever. I've done this on a shoestring. Thank you to the small, tiny few amount of people that have donated to this, guys. You know, we got it. We did it. You I still continue to document the dead tide pools. My salmon work alone, my well work, this great acute radical catastrophe, and you're going to brock it up, and they take 13 years to use the word Fukushima meltdowns. It's that time of year. They're migrating. Moving north. It's mating season. It's that time of year. The crash of the ecology is the greatest acute the Great Pacific Junction acute catastrophe crash since Krakatoa. I think it's even worse. I prove it. Radioactive. All systems go. The nuclear energy frogs. Cancer rates skyrocketed after Fukushima. The nuclear energy frogs have been boiled nicely, and the American sheep are so fucking pathetically stupid and apathetic that they ignore it. They think they are above it. It's actually pathetic. It's actually pitiful. It's pitiful. The nuclear energy frogs have been boiled nicely. What criminal derelicts, these politicians, these so-called scientists, these so-called marine biologists, these so-called activists. They ain't no fucking activists. I'm the activist that wins. I'll finish this job. I'll finish this job. I'll finish this job. Coming over to visit, say hi. Get by with the help from my friends. Stay tuned. I'm an activist. The nuclear energy frogs have been boiled. Human frogs have been boiled nicely. 13 years. Kevin Blanch, son of Cassandra. What's that? The curse. You'll be able to see the future. What kind of curse is that? No one will believe you. And your heirs, I hear the voices of my great-great-grandsons. Kevin Blanch, son of Cassandra, the greatest PhD since Semmelweis. And no one will believe you. You've been hypnotized into shiny ball land. Fukushima, the greatest event in human history. The greatest crime in human history, the cover-up of Fukushima. Stay in tune.